My name is Sally Spencer. I was born in London, and from 62 until 67 I studied art and did an honours degree in fine art, majoring in sculpture. I have been working as a sculptor and installation artist ever since. I started working with installation in '87 in Alice Springs. I moved to Alice Springs. I just had this strong feeling and a dream, some dream images saying I should go to the centre, and I did. And within a week, everything had fallen into place. It was extraordinary. I have never seen anything like Alice Springs. You know, the sheer scale of it, the colours, the vibrancy of the landscape, the incredible mystery of the inhabitants just fascinated me. But I also realised that I wasn't there to stay. I was there as a guest. And I then moved back to Queensland and up to James Cook University, where I was doing a master's and a PhD. The PhD I did not complete. I moved back to southeast Queensland, to the Gympie area, and have set up my studio, where I have been ever since 1996. Clay has become a major part of my arts practice since being in Gympie. I have worked in just about everything before, including the first 5 years when I left art college. I worked in steel. And then I moved on to wood. I made large wooden carvings and constructions that were outside pieces, which I exhibited in 1973. Most of my installations are very work intensive. You know, I made 10,000 scarab beetles, and I made a whole river of scarab beetles. These are all individual scarab beetles that were laid out on the floor, and volunteers helped lay them out so that it was as if in every location they made their own river, so they could take possession of that way. I never quite know where one of my installations stops and the next one starts, because they kind of overlap and one leads into another. And so you get a very complete picture of history in a way. All these different aspects that mingle together and have stayed mingled together and reached the here and now, because it's all knowledge that is acquired, accumulated and passed on. But I was brought up by a father who was a professional artist and a classical scholar, so he brought us up on a diet of mythology and ancient stories and ancient civilizations. It was a very supportive upbringing. Parents who were quite involved with our education, which was advantageous, I must say. I wanted to display movement, and I wanted to show some of the influences that Indian culture has had on Western life. And yoga is actually 5,000 years old, before Christ. We don't actually realize that here. And it was dedicated to the god Shiva, who dances in the Arch of Flames. And he is the third of the Indian trilogy, and he dances in an Arch of Flames. This is Alexander the Great, and he is included in Mother India, because what I discovered while I was in India was that all the Buddhas of the 1st, 2nd and 3rd centuries AD, after the conquests of Alexander, all adopted the Greek drapery, the Greek noses and the Greek curls as a result of his influence, which is a pretty extraordinary story, really. And these were inspired by the Cycladic civilization of Neolithic Greece, which has had such an influence on the modernist sculpture movement of Europe. These are almost sculptures of the soul. People ask me, you know, why are you so obsessed with all this stuff? And I say, it's all of our collective history. This is a country of multicultural country. We've all brought our stuff with us. We need to understand all this, how it's affected history, how we have affected history, how we got here, what we brought with us, what we left behind. And if we want to understand the future or work easily with the future, we need to know what's happened in the past.